Do you have fun taking down the Christmas decorations?
It was a good workout.
I'm so proud you did that because I put everything up and you took it down.
I helped. I think it was 70% you putting everything up, 30% me, but taking it down, it was 95% me, 5% you.
What did I do?
I don't know. I think you actually just took some of the decorations out of the tree and tried to put it into a vase, and it didn't work.
That's actually exactly what I did.
And that's it. Do I still have all this glitter or snow on me?
A little bit. And I noticed, too, our floor, I know you cleaned it, but that's the problem with all these different decorations. They're so glittery, and it just is such a hot mess.
It'll get stuck on our socks, and then it'll dissipate, and it'll disappear. I tried to Swift, but that's, But I was looking at my... That's loud. I was looking at my Apple Watch, and, like, the more I move around, I'm just burning calories.
That's why you did it.
30% more by having an Apple Watch than just my cell phone app that I used to have.
I need to get one of those bad boys. Because I used to always carry my phone so I could see all my steps, and now I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
It's just hard to always hold it.
Yeah, it doesn't. And I think we looked on Amazon. It's like $200.
Yeah.
I don't know what the difference between the 3 series and 5 series, because there's a 549 one. I don't know what that does, but mine, I'm using it. I don't even have it programmed for like messages or anything. Like everything's silent.
You can do text messages on yours?
Really? I can do
Really?
text. I don't know if I can do calls or not, but I don't care.
I think that's all the different. Yeah, you don't use it for that.
We should probably turn that dryer off.
You should probably turn it off.
How long has that been going?
I don't know.
How long, is it a new batch?
I'm not quite sure, actually. The noisiest dryer in the world.
Yeah.
It always has little songs.
Yeah. So, but anywho,
we're super excited today because we're officially launching Trending Topics.
Kind of.
No, are we not?
No, I think we discussed that because initially when we talked about it yesterday, that we were going to both sit on this side of the table. We were going to do different cuts, do it more like a news thing. And then we decided that that's going to be awkward.
Yeah.
Let's just do a podcast Monday through Friday and let's just touch on a few topics.
But I thought it was like Trending Topics edition.
No.
Oh, it should be.
No.
We should we should have the Freddie and Alyssa Show. We have one a week that is our usual 45 to over an hour, whatever it is, normal podcast where we chat with someone
and or have a guest.
Us. Yeah. And then the other 4 days, it's more focused on trending topics, what's happening in the world. I thought that's what we were doing.
No,
No? Tell me what we're doing. Tell all of us what we're doing.
What we're doing is that we wanted to talk about the trending topics.
Correct.
So we were going to do graphics and make it more of like how the Saturday Night Live weekend update is, where we get graphics and all that kind of stuff. But then it would seem awkward to the Freddie and Alyssa Show that we've established. So I thought we were deciding to sit down today, keep it the same format.
Right.
But then talk about a few trending topics that we just segue into that isn't hit on the head.
Oh, okay.
So now people know that the things we're going to talk about are pre-planned and notes are down.
Got it.
Not like what we're going to say, but we do have topics
I think that's okay, though. But people are going to know every time we're talking, they go, oh, well, this is, what's
a trending topic
right now.
day,
so it's technically trending topics.
Because if we just did more about our life or interviewed a guest, it would be, it's unrealistic to think we would get a guest here 5 days a week.
Right.
And it's unrealistic to think that we're going to sit here and just shoot the S for an hour every day.
Because we do that on our own anyway.
Yeah, I just think that that's not sustainable. I think
I agree.
I think the important thing is to have banter and to have organic conversations with no notes or a guest once or twice a week. But the other days we need to see what's going on and then touch on it.
Yeah,
and
but
then,
I think it's fine for the audience to know, this is what's happening.
So you want to actually announce that today is a trending topic episode.
We're not going to say it's a trending topic
so
episode.
Nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed, but just so people know, once a week it's going to be long form and or with a guest.
Maybe.
And maybe not. And the other few will be trending topics.
Now everyone's confused. I'm actually confused because I thought we shared that that's what we were going to do.
Maybe I wasn't listening.
You really don't. I've gotten over that just because I come to you with ideas all the time. But we worked it out, and I think this is better because I just want it to stay consistent. I want people have liked the way we do it.
Yeah,
and,
no, I totally agree.
But instead of just like whatever's on our mind and go there, we actually do want to talk about one thing that is trending topics.
Trending topics
is The Bachelor.
The Bachelor.
The 3-hour premiere aired last night.
My Lord.
I had to make the decision to invest a godly amount of time into a season over like 26 weeks, or however long this thing is, or not.
But you know it was amazing.
It was amazing. Millions of people. I actually looked at your Instagram, though, today, and a lot of people don't watch it. I'm surprised. A lot of people do, obviously.
Yeah.
Millions. It's the biggest show to get 3-hour slot.
Do you know Robert Herjavec from
Shark Tank?
He posted about it, and he goes, I am obsessed with this show. I'm so excited. So a lot of people do watch it in the world, obviously.
Yeah.
I was surprised, too, when I saw the poll
Our
results.
following might not on Insta. Yeah, it's interesting. But I do want to make a prediction. I do want to talk about a few things on there.
Yeah.
The first thing is, I think the biggest bombshell is, and then I want to make my prediction of who's going to win the whole thing, is Hannah came back twice. The Bachelorette last year. And for those of you who didn't watch this show, you got to give it a chance. I'm telling you, you are glued. It's the best trash TV you could ever watch, and you get so invested. And even as an actor, to watch the emotion and storyline that real people get, it's just a bunch. It's kind of sad, but it's just a bunch of people crying. It is so emotional. What they do to pin people against each other, they bring this guy, Pete the pilot, who's the Bachelor, they bring him back from last season where he won, or he didn't win, but he came in third. He got his heart broken by this girl, Hannah, who was the Bachelorette. Hannah shows up in this episode and gets out of the car as like the 30th woman who he got to see, but she was just giving him back a gift. But he was so emotional. They both saw each other. Then she comes back later and tells this story of how they had sex in the windmill 4 times. It was so awkward. Then the episode ends with Hannah and him almost like kissing and him asking her to come back to the house to be a part of it again. And all these other 22 or 25 girls, like, that's so unfair. So I'm curious what you actually think's going to happen. What's your perspective?
Let's start with Hannah Brown because, you know I can't even actually imagine what it's like to be the Bachelor or Bachelorette and have all of these emotions, of the responsibility of all these people's emotions in your hands. You know, that as they get further into it, it probably gets a lot harder. But at the end of her season, of Hannah's season, she had 3 top contenders. She had the one she chose, Jed, and he ended up having a significant other, so that just ended immediately. Then there was Tyler. I love, you know, all of them. Then there's Tyler, who at the reunion of The Bachelorette, she asked him out. She's like, let's go have a drink. And then if you look at the tabloids, they did end up hanging out. He was seen leaving her house with a bag early morning the next day. So I'm assuming, you know, stuff might have happened.
Yeah.
And then he flew back to New York, which is where he lives now. And he's now dating a supermodel who saw him on The Bachelorette, fell in love, tweeted him, followed him. And now they're dating. It's one of the Hadids. Is it Bella or Gigi? I think it's Gigi. It's Gigi. I know it's Gigi. So let me get back to it. Hold on. So she made her very apparent choice at that reunion that she was going for Tyler and not Pete. Now, here's Pete, the third guy. He gets his own show, The Bachelor. He's finally going to find love. And now she comes back going, oh, wait, I think I was wrong. Like, I think that's so selfish and so rude.
But I get the thing that he nailed it. He goes, I don't want to be someone's third choice. Mm-hmm. But then she kind of said, well, you never called me. I never called you. And I was kind of like, okay.
She also moved 20 minutes away from him.
Yeah.
You know?
So they shared all of that. But it's interesting now that The Bachelor, because of the social media era, has become way bigger than it ever was. I didn't watch it back before internet. Or not before the internet, but before social media at scale, like in 14, 15.
Like Tristan and Ryan days.
It is, like, for me, it's hard to believe that people go on this show to find love. I go, you do realize if you're the Bachelor or you make it to the top 3, you never have to work another day in your life.
People don't understand that, though.
They have to.
Some might.
You're instantly mega famous and mega rich.
Some people don't know how to handle that.
But wasn't back in the day, though, they used to have like millionaires as the Bachelor? Now you don't necessarily have to be rich because they know as soon as you're the Bachelor, you're going to be this Bachelor type, like, you know, they kind of use like that, like money or success, it seems. Like it's never just like an ordinary, like hardworking person that's looking for love. Like for some reason, the extravagantness makes it even more crazy.
Yeah, of course.
For those kinds of people who are into extravagant stuff, even though some of the contestants will say, oh, I'm not here for fame or money.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, but I can smell it all over you.
It's crazy, too, because in this show, they give you the most, like you said, extravagant places that you go to fall in love. Like, there's one date last night with Madison, which we'll talk about soon, and it was at Calamigos Ranch, which is the most incredible place with this great band. It was after she watched Pete's parents renew their vows. Like, this is some fairy tale kind of first date situations.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like they just went to dinner. Her heart is just probably so happy, and then she's going to have to go back to the house with all those girls and watch them all compete. Like, it's absolutely freaking crazy.
It's terrible.
It's horrible.
But it's people signed up. These are not, you know, people are making these decisions. They've watched season after season. Yeah. Some of the girls watched last season, all these girls be destroyed, and they still audition and go on the show. So they make their choice, and it's good television. But when it comes to now, I think that Hannah, who was the Bachelorette, who now has a career, you know that she might not have an ego, but she has status now. She has influence, reputation, a following. She's mega famous, and she's kind of on like a pedestal, if you will. I don't think she's going to have the humility to be one out of the 23 girls in the house.
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem right. But I really hope that Pete is the one to stand up and go, you know what? I need to let this go.
Yeah.
Because he's obviously they're going to do the season. So I can't imagine any scenario where she stays longer than an episode.
What I think is going to happen is I think he'll go through this whole show. He'll date all these women. He's going to go back to Hannah at the very end. She won't be there. She won't be competing. But I have a feeling it might be like heavy in his heart that she's still there. I think it'll be a huge shocker, huge twist. And at the very, very end, he's going to go, oh my gosh, I still want to be with Hannah. And then he's going to go run for Hannah Brown. I hope that doesn't happen, but I think it could.
Is that going to be your prediction then?
Prediction, yes.
So that he's going to end up with her?
Yeah, he's good. Yep.
From the very beginning, before I even saw that she got the first date, I was 100% Madison.
Yep.
And then they had such a great connection. I don't know if there's any skeletons. She seems like a very thoughtful, kind, family-oriented, intelligent person without motives. Yep. You never know what comes out. But that's going to be my prediction, is that Madison will...
So you think Madison will win? You know, it's funny, too, because as we were watching it last night, the second I saw Hannah Ann, I go, he's going to be obsessed with her. And she got the first impression rose. I didn't love how she kept interrupting the other women. She went up like 3 times. I was like, relax a little bit. Like
she was rewarded for it.
She was. And then secondly, I do like Kelly, who is the one he went on the date with.
And she won the bike race or whatever.
Even though she cheated, whatever. But
she's cool, yeah.
She just seems like kind of normal. She's an attorney. They, I think, met at a hotel a couple months back on accident. She went up, introduced herself. So I don't know. I kind of liked her vibe, and I know it's only the first episode. There could be someone who actually does win, who we haven't even seen yet. So it's kind of hard to say, hey.
But it's fun. We'll change if anything does. But before we know anything, let's go on the record. We win nothing for being right or wrong, but it's fun to guess. You're guessing he's going to...
I think Hannah Brown's at the very end.
He's going to go back for her, and I'm going to guess Madison.
Okay.
So that's our prediction. So we'll see. We'll come back to that.
Do you want to make our own bet on it? What happens? Just predictions.
We don't need to bet on it. Then it'll take the fun. Blanket. It'll take the fun out of watching. It's the one show that I can actually sit back and watch without analyzing anything, and like I don't want to make it too serious where then I become competitive, where I'm like now I'm like sitting there not unwinding. I want that to be the one thing I watch throughout the week that I can actually unplug.
Do you know that Chris Harrison today on Instagram posted a photo of Pete and Hannah Brown, and he's like, well, what do you guys think about all of this? And the comments were insane. They were so, like, he knows exactly what he's doing. And people, just Bachelor Nation, people love it. I get it. I'm obsessed too. It's a
good thing. It's such a crazy thing for 2020. I am so interested in this year. Mm-hmm. What in the heck is going to happen?
I don't know.
There's just so much, and I just don't know how it's all going to play out.
I don't know.
Like, what is all this communication online going to eventually? I mean, is this just always the new world now? Is that there's just always going to be a divide? There's just always going to be a million opinions. There's just always going to be, I don't know. It's going to be a very, very interesting year. But the only thing that we can actually contribute to is to try to be more empathetic to everyone, even people we don't agree with. Mm-hmm. Try to be understanding, be kind to each other, and focus on what you can control each and every day. Because all the other stuff, it's like you're going to drive yourself nuts. Mm-hmm. So that's why I like to stay informed. I like to hear both sides of any situation. I loved reading the comments about Ricky Gervais. I love to hear what people were saying about it. And I always understand both sides. There will always be a side that I agree with, but it doesn't make me better than anybody. It doesn't make me feel like I'm against anybody. I understand why some people thought it was offensive, why some people thought it wasn't. Mm-hmm. I understand both. And every political divide, I understand both sides.
And so you're talking about Ricky Gervais. He obviously just hosted the Golden Globes, and he had an opening monologue where, like you said, a lot of people thought it was funny. Other people took offense to it. But I agree with you. You just have to look at both sides and have empathy and understand where people are coming from. I understand why people probably thought it was offensive, but I also understand that I thought it was really funny.
Well,
I'm a fan of him.
But it wasn't too bad. Like, he's the one that can get away with all of it, and he wasn't offensive to groups.
Yes.
He was just crapping on Hollywood.
Yeah.
And, and I still think, and being kind of in Hollywood, like we're not in obviously the A-list movie star realm,
right,
but we're enough in Hollywood working in the industry that there are just people who are consumed as if what we do in Hollywood is the real world, and that we're it's like some people take it too serious.
Sure.
I think it's important to get into your roles, and there's artists who do different things. But then there's a group of people who understand it as a business, and that's how I see it. Like, I never look at myself as like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I would never go on stage, give a political statement, or have any sort of emotion. Like, when I won my award, I understood the process. Mm-hmm. I understood that there is an academy. Here is the email guidelines to winning the award. There are people from other shows and competition who are going to judge you, not on your body of work, on the regulations, which is a 4-minute clip out of my 1,000 minutes that I filmed that year. I am being judged on that 4 minutes. Was I watched first? Was I watched third? Was I watched 27th in line, or whatever the number was? Were people bored by then? What was going on in the world? What was in that person's head? And it was just it's a fluke, kind of, and people are like, oh my God, you're so surprised. And I've said this publicly. No. Because someone has to win. Winning the lottery is a surprise. It's 1 in 100 million. There were 9 people my year. Even if there's 50 people and then you're nominated, there's 1 in 5. You have a great chance of winning. That's the business of it. And then people go up, and it's just like, it just all happened to work. I look at it like that. Not that it was like this big thing that was chosen and like, oh my God. And it's just kind of like it all just worked out for you. You get up there. I thank the people.
But I think you and I have talked about this before, and I think the main reason you feel that way and we look at it that way is because most artists, actors, musicians, they truly are solely just the artist, and they've got the whole team who's doing the whole business end of it. the way you and I look, because we've done so many things on every side, we've worn so many hats, we see the business end, like you just said. Like you literally just talked it out. A lot of people don't see that. They just think
how I felt in that scene and what it meant to me, and how I got there, and how my life experiences got me to those tears, and I happened to wake up that day and was in a perfect thing, and I thought about everything. I got into this emotion. I was crying my heart out.
That's
everyone gave me a hug. I felt acceptance, and like I was just wounded away. And I
don't see the big picture of what a well-oiled machine all of it is and how it all works, you know?
Yeah, and there's no right or wrong.
No,
I'm just saying, I'm just not. There are people who got up, and Brad Pitt, my favorite acceptance speech. Yeah. He was genuinely, was so humble, and was just like, thank you. Like he was genuinely thankful, not the. I've practiced this and thank you and whatever this is. It's about how I look and how I sound and how I'm here. Where Brad was like, this, I just want to thank you.
Yeah.
Like I just feel, man.
Do you remember I paused it because Jennifer Aniston was in the back? They sat her really close.
She was happy.
She was genuinely so happy. And I love seeing that. Like, it made my heart so happy because I know, I don't know them. I don't know what they went through. I'm sure it was really difficult for her. And then he was with Angelina Jolie, and they had all these
Wasn't
kids.
that all old news, though?
I mean...
Isn't Brad and Jen like a 2008 thing or something?
I think so, but I mean, it was definitely a long time ago around that area, but it's the way that it all happened. He was shooting Mr. and Mrs. Smith. He fell in love with her.
Ooh, that was 2005 then.
Really? So it was
That's
longer.
old. That's why it's...
But this is the whole thing. Like, even Angelina Jolie came out in an interview and she was like, yeah, I just love that I can tell my kids, hey, if you watch this movie, this is when mommy and daddy fell in love. Meanwhile, though, he was married to Jennifer Aniston. So, like, there was a lot of, like, sketchy, shady stuff going on. But I know...
Time heals.
It does. And that just made me really happy that she was genuinely seemed very happy for him. And, who knows what their friendship is like now. They don't have kids together, so they probably don't talk. But they're in the same world. That A-list celebrity... I mean, that room,
It's small.
Yeah.
It's got to be small.
It's crazy.
Because everybody there is like knows everybody. It's like a big club. I remember that was a George Carlin joke. He goes, "It's a big club, and you ain't in it." I forget what he was saying that about. I think about the people who really run the world.
Yeah.
There's a big club, and we ain't in it.
What would he have thought today?
Oh, there's still enough of like Ricky Gervais's and Bill Burr's of the world that kind of touch on it, but no one like how George Carlin would have. And his last special was in 2008. So he was about 6 years shy of the mayhem and about 10 years shy of the real.
He couldn't have handled it.
Oh my God. But we need to go back. We didn't sit through on my birthday, and my birthday's around the corner again already.
Oh my gosh.
We're going to sit and watch my 6 favorite specials of him, because you have to hear. He already was talking about PC culture. He was talking about how literally he was almost predicting what was coming.
Interesting.
And it's fascinating. It's timeless. So I really want to hear that. But yeah, I think overall the Golden Globes were pretty cool. It was a fun watch. Yeah. Ellen and Tom Hanks, those awards that they were presented with, I think the trailers of their careers were touching. Yeah. The speeches were amazing. And overall it was really great. There was really nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
But Ricky pulled it all together.
I love him so much.
He's so, yeah.
So he says it's his last time he'll host it.
He might do it again. Who knows?
Again.
I don't know.
I love he always goes up there with his drink.
I don't care.
Just can't handle
I don't
it.
care. I don't care.
He's definitely a specific taste, but I like it.
I do too. I love all his stuff.
Give me more, Ricky.
But yeah, we just found out too that it's going to be a leap year.
Yes.
So we get that extra day.
Yes.
For us, it's a day of free rent.
That's right.
Because you usually have to pay rent after just 28 days, where now we get that extra day.
Look at you beating the system, babe.
Yeah. We should only rent every 4 years so we get a free day. Live in the car the other 3.
Oh my God. Yeah, I think that's accurate. Yeah, 2020. Leave you, baby.
But yeah, I just can't wait. I wanna really research and see what's going on day to day, but things are just ever changing. Mm-hmm. And I think there's enough news of the really controversial or negative or the world ending type. What is that word I'm looking for? Like the I guess dystopia, is that the right word? Of just like the world, not the world's ending, but like, you know what I mean? There's enough of that in the world. I do want to touch on some topics if we're going to do this like 5 days a week. Mm-hmm. That are meaningful and that I know that, but I want to make sure that we can come at it in a way that isn't
attacking and...
not attacking, but putting our viewpoints on others. Like, I don't want to try to change people's points of views on things unless there's something that seriously means something to us in a way that we're like, look, this is what we really think and this is why. Mm-hmm. I'm just how I naturally am. Yeah. I love seeing both sides of everything, not just in politics and everything. And I think just kind of bringing a new perspective where it's not just one angle, but to kind of hear both sides of everything and also be able to talk a lot about pop culture. Like, I want to follow The Bachelor. You know, if there's a good movie we see, I want to be able to talk about it. If there's something in the news that's it's touching or it's uplifting, you know, I want to keep our vibe.
Space for positivity, inspiration, entertainment, and, you know,
all that stuff.
All of it, yeah.
But with just the help of seeing what's going on.
Yes.
Because I think, and just for all of our followers, if you're new, then you wouldn't know this. But for everyone who's been following our podcast, this April will be our 2 years that we've been doing it, and we've taken little breaks in between. But you know, we don't want to just do this once a week. Mm-hmm. You know, we want to be able to be your go-to, to just be able to listen to when you're working out every day or driving or whatever it may be. So we're going to try to continue to innovate and see what we can do. We want to work on getting guests in, and we're just going to continue to innovate. And our main goal is, how do we continue to inspire, educate, and entertain on a daily basis in long form? Mm-hmm. So we'll see. So I'm glad we were able to talk it out, you know, on here. And we're also, I like that we'll wrap it up under 30. Great. I also think that's going to help. I think our big one that we do from 45 minutes to an hour and a half once a week of like other stuff. But if we're going to talk on like an ep like this, I think keeping it under 30 is going to, I think people will appreciate like, oh, I get a little taste, but it's not like an hour and a half of sifting through or something. Right. So let us know what you think. We really, you know, we're going to keep it going, and we appreciate your time. And
if you guys are watching The Bachelor, let us know your predictions. Yeah,
what's your prediction? And we'll see who's right in the end. And I'll be waiting for Monday to see how this all goes. So
good.
But all right, everyone. Thank you for watching. You know, please hit the like button, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, all that good stuff. We really appreciate it. And we'll be talking to you tomorrow.
It's only a day away.
It's only a day away.